Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to everyone. So, first and foremost, I would like to give my thanks to everyone that are joining us today and participating in this online seminar. So, as you all know, we are streaming live today and hopefully more people will come in and join us today as the seminar is going on. So, firstly, I am your moderator. My name is Anas Naufal. So, our seminar today is about employment and retirement, preparing for the challenges of a post-pandemic future. So, in our seminar today, we will provide basic knowledge about employment and retirement. We would like to give you guys some exposure to our viewers today about the challenges that they have to face in the future by sharing some certain inputs that is beneficial to everyone. So, with me today, I am not alone. Speaker is Brother Nabil, and our last speaker for today, the fifth speaker, is Brother Azam. So, all six of us are going to share with you guys some inputs regarding employment and retirement, preparing for the challenges of a post-pandemic future. So, let us get started. So, our first speaker today, which is Brother Aidil Hakim. Brother Aidil Hakim, I would like to ask you the first question, which is, what is employment and retirement actually is? And how does it actually relate to us? So, will you, Brother Aidil?
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First and foremost, thanks to Brother Anas, our moderator for today. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. So basically, to understand this issue, we must take a look into the definition itself first, which is the definition of employment as well as the definition of retirement. So personally, employment can be defined as how you labor yourself and getting paid or being paid by another parties, which means that you do your job or work and then you get a salary from your employers. That's the easiest or the simple definition that I can give for employment. Regarding the retirement, it can be defined as somewhat a decision made by people to decrease in terms of their psychological commitment to work and behaviorally withdraw themselves from the job. So basically, to relate the employment and retirement process to us, we can take a look into a biopsychosocial perspective. Biopsychosocial perspective consists of three components, which is biological, related to the process which explain the body structures, the change that we have been throughout the aging. And for the psychological, it can be best understood as how it explains an individual about people's thoughts, their behaviors and feelings related to growing older. And then for the last one, which is social process of aging, which is emphasis on the historical, cultural and interpersonal influences in relation to the biopsychosocial model with employment. Maybe we can take a look into the definition of employment again, which is, it can be defined or understood as as how you labor your energy and getting paid by another party, such as your what you call it, your employers. Personally, for me, employment does not has any particular impact on life in terms of biological, psychological, or sociological. But I will try to relate it. So, in relation to biological, employment is something which is very stressful, with lots of demanding workloads that might have a specific impact towards workers' health. For example, there was several examples, if I'm not mistaken, proposed by Noor 2017, when she mentioned that several work-related diseases such as eye injuries, skin disease, and musculoskeletal disease or disorders. If we think logically, this disease actually can affect people's working performance and also might affect the productivity of the organizations. But why? Because when people having a disease, they might tend to take what we call it a cuti or a leave. Therefore, the productivity of the company or organization on that day when he or she take leave might be decreased. Yes. In terms of psychological and sociological aspects, like I said before, having excessive load, pressure from the authorities, and how to maintain or balance your life between family and work become the main factor or the main challenge that leads the individuals to have a problem with mental health, such as stress, anxiety, as well as depression. Therefore, concerning the current situation, which is pandemic COVID-19 situation, for me, COVID-19 does give a massive impact on employment. Therefore, there are several people reported to have a problem such as a mental illness due to COVID-19. And there are also reported cases about some people who are being dismissed or fired from their job, as well as their salary being deducted by their employers to ensure that their company or their organization survive. Besides, to relate the biopsychosocial model as well with as retirement, their salary being deducted we can by their take employers a look about how to ensure that their company or their organization that survive. The retirement life is somewhat which is very stressful, very lonely, and it costs higher than expected. Therefore, besides this, to relate the biopsychosocial model as aligns with their salary, psychological, and we can take a look about how ensure that their company or their organization attaining retirement age, the retirement may also give a sign somewhat which is very stressful, active very lonely, and active and working life, which is higher than expected, resulting. Therefore, besides certain individual to relate the biopsychosocial model anxious or to align with their salary, psychological, and we can take a look about how ensure that their company or their organization attaining retirement age, retirement also with somewhat biological and very stressful, very lonely and active and working life, which is higher than expected. Can take a look about besides the conditions in the retirement result the biopsychosocial can be very anxious or to align very psychology has been affect ensure that their next individual in order to relate this attaining retirement age essential with somewhat biological and very stressful, very lonely and working life, which is higher than expected. Can result in besides conditions in the retirement result the biopsychosocial can be very anxious or to align very psychology has been affect ensure that their next individual in order to relate this attaining retirement age essential
what employment and retirement actually is. So we are going to move on to the second question today. So I would like to invite our second speaker, which is Brother Abdul, to answer this question. So the question is, can you tell us and the viewers today, what is the employment and retirement rate nowadays? Okay, pandemic, thank you, as we all know, the rate should not be safe because of pandemic employment and so retirement actually is. So we are going to move on to the second question today. So I would like to invite our second speaker, which is Brother Abdul, to answer this question.
Thank you, Brother Anas, for the question. First of all, because before we discuss about employment and retirement rate after the pandemic, I think it is important for us to discuss the rate of employment and retirement before the pandemic itself, as the rate before the pandemic show a significant gap throughout the world, especially after the economic crisis that hit the world around 2008. Okay, according to International Labour Organization in 2014, it was estimated that more than 201 million people were unemployed throughout the world, and global unemployment is estimated to increase by 3 million in 2015 and by a future of 8 million in the following 4 years. Okay, and in fact, in 2014, almost 74 million young people from the age of 15 to 24 were looking for work in 2014. Okay, and yet, especially young women, they continue to be primarily affected by the unemployment. Okay, and the increase in the number of youth unemployment situation is common to all regions around the world, especially for instance in our own country in Malaysia. Okay, according to the Department of Statistics of Malaysia, in 2015, a high unemployment rate was recorded among the population aged around 15 to 90 years old, which is 50.7%, and followed by those aged 20 to 24 years with 9.3% rate of unemployment. However, in terms of the percentage of unemployed person, the largest contribution was the young age group of 20 to 24 years, okay, from 42.1% in Malaysia. Meanwhile, for the retirement rate, throughout the world, we already know that many countries experience an aging population. Okay, where according to the United Nations in 2015, between 2000 and 2015, the proportion of global population aged 50 years and above have increased from 9.9% to 12.3%. And it is estimated that over the next 15 years, this proportion will be increased globally to 60.5% in year of 2030. And in Malaysia itself, according to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, the population composition of 65 years old and above showed an increase from 6.5% to 6.7% from 2018 to 2019. And it is estimated by 2020, 3.4 million of people in Malaysia, or 9.9% of Malaysia population, will be over the age of 60 years old. Okay, and that means almost 1 in 10% will likely in the age of retirement above 60. Okay, and due to this aging population, according to the International Labour Organization in 2015, the labour force participation of people in the age of 65 years old and above show an increase, where globally 30.3% for men and 40.5% for women in 2015. And this number and the number of percentage are expected to increase from time to time, So as a result, the age of retirement is predicted to increase from time to time due to the aging population. Okay, and as we had already discussed about the previous economic situation and the aging population and so on, okay, now together with the pandemic COVID-19 that happened this day, of course, it do have significant impact on the employment and retirement rate throughout the world. Okay, and in Malaysia itself, in 2020, the latest statistic show that the unemployment rate rose to its highest point this year to reach 5.3% in May, with the number of job loss in Asia also reached a height of 836,000 people, and the number is expected to increase by the end of this year. However, our government had implemented the economic recovery plan, and this plan had shown a positive increase in the employment rate as the unemployment rate continued to decrease in July to 4.7% after recording the number of unemployment for 4.9% in June 2020. And the number of unemployed person in Malaysia fell by 28.2,000 to 745.1 thousand person based on the Department of Statistics of Malaysia. However, for me, there are still many uncertainty effects in terms of employment and retirement rate after the pandemic, after the COVID-19, because there are actually many uncertainty events, uncertainty costs that may and not may, and of course this thing will affect the unemployment and retirement rate in Malaysia specifically. So we don't know what will be in the future, but we hope that this issue can be handled wisely, especially by the government and also the other organizations that involved in this matter, so that this disadvantage will not negatively affect to the population, especially in Malaysia itself. That's all for me.
So, thank you, Brother Afiq, for your insight and giving us some knowledge about the employment and retirement rate nowadays during this pandemic. So, from this, me, myself, and all the viewers today, we all know a little bit more about it. And hopefully, by knowing this, it can make us more prepared to face this challenging time. So, we are going to move on to the next question. So this question is to the third speaker, which is Brother Afif. And the question is, can Brother Afif tell us all and the viewers what are the type of jobs and businesses that are thriving during this pandemic?
Okay, thank you, Brother Anas, for the question. There are a few jobs and businesses that are thriving during this pandemic. Okay, firstly, shipping and delivery companies. Since the start of the Movement Control Order or MCO, they need to deliver many parcels, and a lot of business have changed their platform to online business. When they opt to online business, they need to depend on shipping and delivery companies to deliver their good to the customer. One of the shipping and delivery companies that is well known in Malaysia is Pos Laju Malaysia. Before the MCO, Pos Laju Malaysia needs to deliver roughly around 350,000 parcels per day. But now, they need to deliver nearly 800,000 parcels per day due to the pandemic and high demand. So we can see here that shipping and delivery company are thriving in this pandemic because they receive a lot of parcels to deliver during this current situation. Next, grocery and food delivery services are also thriving during this pandemic. From the first day of Movement Control Order or MCO, food delivery companies like Foodpanda and GrabFood are thriving as they manage to get more than 30% increase in orders. A lot of people are required to work from home and they do not want to go out in this current situation. So they order their food and groceries through mobile application that offer grocery and food delivery services. And the number of Foodpanda riders has increased by 7.5%, and they also receive many applicants that want to apply for the job. Many people are affected by the pandemic, so they apply for this job to survive in this economy. Hence, it is clear that grocery and food delivery services are thriving in this pandemic. Okay, next. Other companies that are thriving during this pandemic are meeting and communication company. For instance, Zoom, which is an American communication technology company, expects their sales to be double compared what they expected in March by the end of this year. The usage of Zoom has increased since the coronavirus outbreak. This is because we cannot meet each other. For instance, a company meeting will be held virtually via Zoom due to the pandemic, and we need to be in social distancing. Also, teaching and learning are actually being conducted via online meeting platforms such as Zoom. School, college, and universities are using Zoom as a platform to conduct online learning. Therefore, we can see here that meeting and communication company are actually thriving in this current pandemic. That's all.
Wow, there are lots of jobs and businesses that are thriving right now, like Brother Afi said. So maybe our viewers who are trying to find a job right now, you guys can focus your search in these types of jobs and businesses. However, Brother Afif, I have one more question for you. There must be jobs and businesses that are affected badly during this pandemic. So can Brother Afif share with us what are the jobs that are affected badly?
Okay. Thank you, Brother Anas, for the question. There are also many business and jobs that are affected terribly by the coronavirus outbreak. Firstly, job and business that are related to hotels, hospitality, and tourism. The pandemic might cost the hotel industry around 3.3 billion ringgit worth of revenue loss, and nearly 200,000 room cancellation were recorded from January to March. Malaysia Association of Hotels recorded a loss more than 75 million ringgit. Also, many amusement and theme parks cannot be opened due to the pandemic. A newspaper article stated that in the first 3 weeks of February, the amusement and theme park visitors dropped by 80%. Hence, we can see here that hotel, hospitality, and tourism are badly affected by this pandemic. Furthermore, other jobs and businesses that are affected badly by the current pandemic are retail stores. Due to the pandemic, many people are affected and some of them are losing their income, so they are unable to go shopping and buy stuff. It can be seen that Robinson, which is a big retail company, is closing down all the stores in Singapore and Malaysia because of the reduced consumer demand. The number of their customer is declining, so it is better for them to shut down their store because it is hard to maintain their business. With the shutdown of retail store, many employees lost their job and source of income. So we can see here that retail store business are negatively affected by COVID-19 pandemic. Moreover, the business and jobs that are related to sport and performing arts are also badly affected. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost Johor Darul Takzim Football Club around RM35 million. This is because football matches in stadium had to be played without fans and supporters. So the source of income for the football club that comes from the fans are affected. Also, gym and sports facilities are poorly affected by the pandemic. The number of bookings is declining because the only activity that is allowed to be resumed is non-contact sport. It is hard to maintain the facilities when the cash flow of the business is affected. So, we can see here that business and jobs that are related to sport and performing arts are badly affected. Lastly, street vendors, hawkers, and petty traders are also badly affected by the pandemic. They had to close their store due to the MCO and they lost their primary source of income. One of the petty traders mentioned that she would get around 20 customers per day usually, but now she only gets 2 or 3 customers per day. The petty traders also mentioned that they barely earn RM50 ringgit of their sales per day. Even after the government permitted them to operate, they did not get the number of sales and customer that they used to get. So we can see here that street vendors, hawkers, and petty traders are badly affected due to the pandemic. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you to Brother Afif for your explanation. So from Brother Afif's explanation, we can see that there are also a few jobs that are affected badly during these hard times. So there is a balance. There are jobs that are affected and jobs that are thriving. So moving forward, all of us, me, including the viewers, you guys can be prepared and you guys can like pick which job that is best suited to you. So next we are going to move on to the fourth speaker, which is Brother Nabil. So the next question is, what is the future of employment and retirement post-pandemic? So Brother Nabil, can you explain it to us all and the viewers?
First of all, thank you very much to our moderator, Brother Anas, and I want to thank you all of you for joining us today. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So my name is Ahmad Nabil. So the future of employment and retirement post-pandemic. So with the pandemic happening around the world right now, it has given us so many uncertainties, especially in terms of surviving. And when we speak about surviving in the language of modern society, urban culture can understand, it is usually much related to financial status. A majority of us work from day to night to survive from day to day. Given the current situation, thoughts about the future of employment and retirement should not be unfamiliar anymore. It is a concern that many people should have, and also there are studies that has been done regarding this question, and where there is good news about something, there is also bad news. So a study by Dayanku 2020, the study found out that the good news is because of this pandemic, many jobs that were not really acknowledged back then is now much appreciated by many. She also mentioned that during MCO, a lot of perceptions regarding jobs were changed. For example, delivery men, whom before this, most of us never bat an eyelid at, and suddenly because becomes an essential worker overnight, keeping the economy moving. So it is safe to say that there will be a shift in the categories of job applications in the future. People may be prone to continue their studies in courses besides the mainstream courses like engineering, architecture, science, and, and on top of that, there will be 11 professions that will still be in demand, ranging from mass production to small businesses or private companies. Yeah, this was from the study by Dayanku. So what we can see from this writing is that there will still be hope for the employment in the future. The writing also listed occupations such as warehouse workers and packers, manufacturing machine operators, marketing managers, robotic engineers, insurance agents, blockchain developers, telehealth nurses, software developers, online teachers and tutors, greeters, and also remote personal fitness trainers. So from the listed jobs, we can see that this is one of the positive impacts of this pandemic for the future of employment. For instance, because of the virus, people have become very concerned with their health, hygiene, and safety. So, therefore, it can be seen that there is a high demand for health insurance since people now see the importance of it. Yeah, this was cited in the study. And also, like greeters, like we can see right now, greeters are required at any entrance of a building, like to ensure people that enter the building are healthy and safe from the virus. So COVID-19 has also increased the awareness of society's social distancing. This led to a wide range of online activities like people shop online, people order food online, and a lot of things has been viewed as more convenient actually when it is done online. So hence occupations like warehouse workers and packers that work for online shops or careers, online teachers and tutors. So these kind of occupation will still be high in demand in the future of employment. However, besides the future of um, employment seems to be uh, looking like it's going to be bright, but the future employment in terms of graduate employability is actually experiencing um, like a downfall. A study that has been done on graduate employability post-pandemic found that graduate employability will become more challenging regardless of the attributes that graduates may have right now, like existing factors such as skills, competency, quality of education, and academic degree is no longer the main factors for graduates in being employed. This is due to the announcement made for most of the companies starting to have their employees to work from home. Now, with this being said, the rising rate of existing unemployment will become a tougher challenge for new graduates in seeking a job in the future because right now people are starting to lose their jobs. Some are told to resign, and with them already being unemployed right now and still be looking for a job in the future. So new graduates that are like freshly out of the university, they want to look for jobs. They have to compete with the existing unemployment rate. Moreover, graduate employability will also be a challenge given that current employers are facing financial problems. Due to the economic slowdowns, companies face problems in paying their employees, which result in them cutting salaries or even worse, leading to furlough. Like hence, it is uh, encouraged for students right now to start planning their future after graduating. Like be ready with a plan in case you don't find a job. Now, as the economy is affected by the pandemic, another unfortunate assumption has come up from another study, which the future of a financially secure retirement would be hard to accomplish. Yes, so apart from the COVID being a threat to our health, it has also threatened the future of retirement people because of the economy. Now, people that are retiring have been stressing their concerns about how they will survive after leaving their work life. The first wave of the COVID-19 pandemic hit all employers and workers financially. Now, according to Bernama 2020, the government has set up an initiative where EPF members may apply for a scheme where they can withdraw a portion of their savings. Now, they can expect their savings to be deposited into their bank accounts starting from May 2020. Now, this scheme is effective for a total of 12 months and maximum withdrawal per month is 500. Now, EPF Chief Executive Officer Tunku Ali Zakri Alias said EPF members need to the reason why people have to tap into their retirement savings now is very understandable, given the trying times. Nonetheless, he reminded them that it is important to strike the right balance between their current needs and the needs of their future retirement. From the study, it shows that 71.4% of self-employed members have less than 1 month worth of savings in their EPF accounts, while 82.7% of private sector employees have only saved enough to support themselves for less than 2 months. So those are all studies that has been made regarding the future of employment and retirement in our country. But fret not, people are still doing their research and maybe there are more good news to come. So that is all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Nabil, for your answer. So, from what you have shared with us today, the future is not so bad as we think it is. It is just that we must be prepared to face it and create our own plan on how to face it. So moving on, this is our last question for today. So the question is, what are the preparations that people need to make to face employment and retirement post-pandemic? For this question, I would like to call our last speaker, which is Brother Azam, to share with us what are the preparations that people need to make.
Thank you, Brother Anas, for asking me that question. Before that, Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to everyone here. So, to answer your question, you were asking two questions, right? The first one, you were asking about what are the preparations that need to be prepared by young adult in order to face the post-pandemic future. And second, you were asking about what are the preparation for retirement. I will answer the first question first. What are the preparation that need to be prepared by young adult in order to face the post-pandemic future? Firstly, you need to expand your horizon. How do you expand your horizon? Perhaps you can acquire, or you can find, or you can learn more skills that are needed in today's world. You need to have multiple skills, Since this pandemic has affected our economy, I'm pretty sure there will be a high possibility that the unemployment rate will be increased. As a result, the employer will be more selective when it comes to choosing an employee. So, you can't just limit your job search to a specific field. You need to be open when it comes in choosing job. And second, you need to maximize your downtime. During your downtime, perhaps, or maybe you can make use of your time to search into skill-related or online courses in order to sharpen or strengthen your current skill. During this time, during this pandemic, you may want to explore or find a wide variety of online courses on the internet to develop your skills, and it can make yourself essential. Spending a few hours a week on a couple of online courses not only enhances your skill, but also it will strengthen your resume. Therefore, maximize your downtime by improving your soft skill is also good preparation. And third, you need to build a network. You might think that this option is off the table, during this global pandemic when gathering are out of view, but fortunately, we also live in a highly digital era where potential networking is still extremely possible thanks to collaborative technology tools and virtual networking events. What you can do is that you can reach out to your old friends or even build a new relationship in your field or your chosen industry. You may want to join groups online so that you can expand your circle, network, and therefore it can create new opportunities and valuable connection. Next, you have to make use of online event and conference. It is easier to join the talk no matter where you are right now, because since most of the events and conferences are organized online, and also joining the conference and discussion or event will allow you to be alert on the current latest industry trends. Also, virtual meetings and conference are a great place for you to hear the latest business from other people, and it will be a great opportunity for you to learn new things. And lastly, you should master your virtual interview skill. Due to the social distancing, in-person meeting or face-to-face interview are held while virtual interview are ongoing. concerning video interview, please make sure that your room looks appropriate and also look professional. And please make sure that you test in advance to ensure that your internet connection is good and you can rely on it. Please make sure that you have a backup plan and also a contact number if you are facing any difficulties on the day of the interview. And also please consider of having your resume and portfolio accessible if you need a particular assignment or need to share information on your screen. Okay, to answer the second question, what are the preparation for retirement? I know most of you here are still young and retirement may be the furthest thing out of your mind. And also you are more likely to concentrate on seeking job instead of like retiring. However, you can't run away from retirement. You need to be prepared. And the question here, what are the preparation for retirement? Firstly, you need to picture your retirement. As you guys know, retirement is not a scheme, one size fits all. Each individual has a unique idea of retirement. Your retirement will be very different from previous generation. Many people remain involved in retirement by starting a new job or returning to college or working a part-time, or some people may preparing for years of rest and leisure. While several options are open, it is important for you to decide what you want to do in retirement to prepare for it. Identify any financial problems you may have to deal with. Your retirement lifestyle primarily defines the amount of money that you need. Hence, all you can do is create your financial plan. And you need to start to decide when you want to retire, what to do on retirement, and how much money you need. Your retirement goals are important to understand because it will help you build a financial plan that is tailored to meet your needs effectively. But also your retirement goal should be sustainable for several years after you retire. Secondly, as a preparation for retirement, you can start to evaluate your expenses. When you decide on your retirement date and consider what you want to do after retirement, it will help you assess the cost of your retirement. And also, you have to consider the cost of health care. And you need to speak to your employer and ask for a detailed list of benefits you may get, or you may enjoy, or you may receive after you retire. This allows you to decide what benefits are required to substitute or complement and how your expenses will be affected. And next, you also need to identify the sources of income, and this can be part of preparation for retirement. You need to know the sources of income after you retire, and there are two income sources for most retirees to pay for their living expenses. First, continuing income such as social security like SOCSO or EPF, insurance, and an account of part-time work or investment. By comparing your current income with your planned expenditure, you will see how much money you need to draw next year from your saving. You also need to make a significant choice as part of your income planning, such as when you want to take social benefits. This has a significant effect on how much money you will expect to get in retirement. And last but not least, you can also find a potential income sources. This is important for the part of preparation for retirement, in addition to ongoing social security revenue and employer plan. Many retirees are working on purchasing investment, like many of people are doing investment to produce more retirement income so that you can prevent any financial problem from happening. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you to Brother Azam for sharing us the preparations that we need to make to be prepared to face employment and retirement post-pandemic. So from what Brother Azam has shared, it is clear for us all to be well prepared, and hopefully that our preparation will help us to face this hard time. So after asking this last question, this marks the end of this online seminar. So that's all for today, and I hope that all the viewers that came and joined today's seminar, I hope that you guys get some knowledge of what we have shared with you guys today. So again, thank you everyone for joining this online seminar session, and thank you also to the speakers who shared with us today. So that's all from me. I am Anas Naufal. Hope you guys enjoy, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hi everyone. So I am Alham and I am the event technician for this e-seminar, and I am also going to answer the questions that are pop up on the live chat box here. And since we are running out of time, inshallah I will try my best to reach all questions. But if your question is not answered by me, you can just personally contact our speakers after the seminar. Okay, so let's see what question we get here. So the first question, in your opinion as an employer, how can we meet employees' growing mental and emotional health needs? So I'm pretty sure that many have experienced mental illness issues such as loneliness, anxiety, and depression, especially during this pandemic. And even some survivors will have like post-traumatic stress syndrome. And during this pandemic, right, employers should anticipate increased use of digital solution in their workers to address some mental health needs. So what employers can do is to provide some types of cognitive behavioral therapy that can be effectively delivered via mobile app. And here employees can gain benefit from these activities, such as from mindfulness and mediation programs that can assist them to cope with their problems. And also the consideration of family and childcare responsibilities, and encouraging exercise and time away from work is also essential to support employees' emotional health. So the next question is, what should a graduating student do to prepare themselves in looking for a job? So this question is in regard with future employment. So what the graduating student should do is, you should prepare yourself to be flexible in looking for a job. And yes, it would be great to get a job that relates with what you've been doing in your during your studies. But due to uncertainties and challenges that may come, you have to make sure that you are able to be flexible and can also do other jobs as well, because this can broaden your chances of being employed. And the last question that I am going to answer is, if we want to retire early, what should we do? Okay, again, same with what our speaker, Brother Azam, has mentioned before. You have to picture what you want to do after retirement, and you have to have a good financial plan so that it will make your life easier and you won't face any financial constraint in the future. So that is all for the Q&A session, and I hope that these answer all the question. And again, thank you for attending this e-seminar, and I hope everyone receives the benefit together. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.